Welcome back. We're at chapter 16. Where's the time go? Today we're going to be talking about retail as well as multi-channel support in terms of what companies partner, what retailers they partner with for the most effective positioning for their brands, as well as reaching the right audience at the right time. So, factors establishing relationships with retailers. What do brand marketers look for? Well, there's a couple of key things. So initially just choosing the retail partners, identifying what types of retailers, and think of all the different types. You've got retailers such as Macy's and Belk and Neiman Marcus, but you also have ones such as Target and Kmart and JCPenney and 7-Eleven and everywhere and anywhere that you go to purchase anything for consumption or wearables, etc., is obviously a retailer. And then of course the online world and how that impacts a brand positioning as well as pricing and access. So considering all of that, developing your retail strategy. Strategy for one store may be different than another store, so that's something to consider as well, and we'll kind of go a little bit further through that. And of course, managing a multi-channel strategy and how you manage all the moving parts from a brand perspective. So choosing retail partners overall, just kind of taking a look at a channel structure and even looking at a product such as Revlon and where they choose to have their products in terms of how it's merchandised and what's sold in and what's the price point in a Target versus a supermarket that has a cosmetics section versus, maybe a department store that may also carry Revlon. What levels of Revlon? Does Revlon have different price points, lower price points for more of a supermarket positioning versus mid-level, perhaps for Target, and then maybe high-end for a department store? Consider that in terms of the structure and how they manage that brand in a multi-channel environment based on where the product has been placed. So kind of thinking about that, thinking about the power and the importance of manufacturers as well as the retailers that they work with. So choosing retail partners, and we kind of have a little grid over here, and it's got a couple of aspects, but customers' expectations, always understanding research, where your customers are, where they're expecting it. So if you are the marketer of Estee Lauder and somebody else is the marketer of NARS Cosmetics, how do you determine which stores really align with your overall brand positioning, your overall pricing, promotion, everything, and as well as provides a real channel that's lucrative, that gets that target audience that you're searching for, really with the product at the right time, at the right place, with the right message. So considering larger firms, less likely to use supply chain intermediaries, so consider Nestle Food Company. Instead of doing a supply chain, they're going to work directly with Kroger's. They're going to work directly with A&P or Food Lion or whomever. Nestle has brand managers as well as district managers, but the brand managers are those that work with the headquarter food chains or convenience store chains to determine what product is going to ship for different time frames, such as back to school candy, the baking season, the holiday season, any holiday whatsoever that includes any of the Nestle products. And Nestle is the world's largest food company in the world, has quite a number of products. So you can imagine the multi-channel strategy that they have to look at and what products they put into a C-Town or a 7-Eleven store that may be in an inner city section versus a high-end supermarket that's in Beverly Hills. So consider that and know that Nestle has to really look across all when they're determining that. And when you consider retail partners and distribution, so consider a few different types of distribution. First off is an intense strategy. So think about soft drinks and think about when you go into supermarkets and the mass amount, so the Pepsi and the Coca-Colas of the world, and the mass amount of distribution. It's not, let's ship out a couple of cases. It's pallets and pallets, especially throughout different promotionals, whether it's Super Bowl or back to school or anything that aligns with retail channels promotion within the convenience or food store sectors. Think about exclusive distribution. When you're a high-end product such as Chanel, such as TAG, or fine watches, fine things, it's very selective in terms of when they're putting these products. You're not going to find a Chanel in a Kohl's or in a TJ Maxx. They hold their products for very, very specific exclusive distribution based on the target audience, and actually 80% of a higher-end product's income comes from 20% of the market. So just so you know that, they're not a brand that's out there for everyone, they're an exclusive brand, hence the distribution that they handle as well. And then selective in terms of where select. One example of selective in terms of where products are available pharmaceutical products based on how they're approved, what states, FDA. Think about the different pharmacies. Think about what products you have access to, whether they're generic or they're branded. Are you paying higher prices? Maybe a generic's not available. Maybe a generic is available and you're not able to get the branded that you chose. All of these factors are all based on retail strategy and placement, as well as, of course, distribution and maximizing that. So considering it, we went through a few, but a couple of different retailers. Food retailers, obviously supermarkets, supercenters, convenience stores, general merchandising, discount, category specialists, drug stores, department stores, and then service, office, retail, etc. So this will give you a really good overview of just the different types of retailers. And then when you look at general merchandise retailers, you even see a subsegment down here. So looking at it from department stores to full-on discount stores, broad variety. So Marshalls or Kohl's may fall into that, or a TJ Maxx. Specialty stores, limited, maybe stores that just sell bridal gowns or prom gowns, etc. Drug stores, category, extreme value, and off-price. So you can take a look at these and click and find out a little bit more about these. GNC, private brands, specifically to their store, where they market specifically the products and also the locations within certain malls, within outside locations. So looking at how they handle a little bit differently their nutritional products. Service retailers primarily sell service. So think about hotels, think about theme parks, think about all of these type of services where you go and you have a certain perception, and then when you go in, what are the expectations? That is truly the moment of truth. When you cross over, enter the theme park, enter into the hotel, is that service that's been promoted really come through in your first experience with it. And then developing a retail strategy. 4 Ps as well as SAVE, so understanding from retail how your price, promotion, and product fits into that specific place. And also looking at it from SAVE. When you're selecting a retailer, how is that providing, how is that going back to the solution for the consumer? Access, where is that product going to be accessed? What kind of value is that bringing back to the consumer? And obviously education. And thinking about access, which has changed everything. How many of these brands that we've talked about are available online? How many of you would feel comfortable purchasing products online versus offline? Have you ever purchased groceries online? I mean, these things are happening in metropolitan areas all the time where people are getting groceries delivered. So depending on where you are and what you need. Internationally, Tesco supermarkets are working through where you can actually, at the moment of time, come off the airplane, and before you get home, order your groceries. So when you get home, your groceries are waiting there. Thinking about consumers' needs and how we really provide that access in that moment of truth. And benefits stores for consumers, obviously all the different key aspects that you consider as well in terms of browsing, analyzing different prices, the personal service. Think about shopping at a high-end department store such as a Neiman Marcus or a Nordstrom versus a different department store, versus whether it's a JCPenney or other Kmart along those lines. What are the key differences? Nordstrom actually works to make sure that their hangers don't even have any sound, so that's silence. Nordstrom has piano playing in the middle. Nordstrom provides your product not over the counter, but walks around the counter to give it. It's all that aspect of service, even within the retail store. Benefits of the internet and understanding it in terms of online. Researching. How many of you do any form of researching, whether it's clothes, automotive, computers, technology, wherever it may be? Most people start online to understand what choices are available, what are the prices, where it's located. Can you get a lower price online versus actually going into the store? Is it something that you have to have a haptic aspect in terms of feeling and touching that product, or can you try it out online? Is it free shipping? Can you return free? All of those components come into a consumer's decision, and those are things that the manufacturer has to think about when they're looking at placement, retail, in stores, or online. And all of it needs to be integrated. So effective multi-channel marketing and strategy. So when you consider it, you need integrated customer relationship marketing. So it has to be integrated, meaning that all your pieces fit together. So whatever you're saying on your TV is online, as well as in print, with events. Everything has to be integrated so that consumer sees it. But it's key as well to retailing. So when I walk into Kroger's and look at Coca-Cola, that Coca-Cola bottle looks the same as when I walk into a 7-Eleven. I can identify the brand. There's continuity, not just in the labeling, but overall promotion. Then you look at the overall image, the pricing, and the supply chain. So, and that can be looked at in a variety of different ways nationally. Talking about internationally, and considering when you look at products internationally, where their pricing is and what products they offer. We talked a little while ago about the Big Mac Index, how that does not cross over as a price foundation for all due to the fact that different countries, different cultures view different products and services quite differently. So just remember that when you're considering overall brand and image. And nationally, they should be cohesive and integrated, but internationally, as long as it's cohesive and integrated within that country or that culture. So that's it for multi-channel strategy, and we'll see you next time for the next chapter.